afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the Fall Convocation. I'm John Vollen, the Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost at the University of Maine. A hearty Maine hello to the members of the class of 2025 and a warm welcome to all members of the University of Maine and the University of Maine at Machias. Communities who are joining us today, both in person here in Hutchins Concert Hall and remotely via live stream. Today, we will explore the theme, connecting our past with our present and future. To open our program, please stand for the national anthem sung by Ryan Conway, a member of the class of 2021. Please be seated. I would now like to introduce our stage party. I ask that you to hold your applause until all are standing. Daniel Malloy, Chancellor, University of Maine System. Joan Farini Mundy, President, University of Maine at Machias. Rena Newell, Passamaquoddy Tribal Representative to the Maine State Legislature. Heather Ball, Assistant Vice President of Academic Affairs. Robert Dana, Vice President for Student Life and Inclusive Excellence and Dean of Students. Elizabeth Davis, Vice President of University of Maine Student Government, President of the General Student Senate. Janina Diesenrider, President of Graduate Student Government. Dan Demerit, Senior Executive Director of Marketing and Communications. Ariane Fitzmarquez, Marine Sciences major. Dina Hundy, Physics major. Chris Lindstrom, Vice President of Human Resources. Jeffrey Mills, President and CEO of the University of Maine Foundation. William D. Nichols, President of FACTI Senate, Professor of Literacy Education. Ken Ralph, Director of Athletics. Darren Renko, Chair of Native American Programs and Director of Native American Research, Associate Professor of Anthropology. Christopher Richards, Vice President for Enrollment Management. Cody Vavaramian, Vice President for Research and Dean of the Graduate School. Jake Ward, Vice President for Innovation and Economic Development. Joanne Yastrzemski, Vice President and Chief Business Officer. Please give them a round of applause. I now invite Dee Nichols, Professor and FACTI Senate President, to the podium to provide our land acknowledgement.
So thank you, John. It is an honor to be here as I have a daughter who graduated class of 2021, and I've got a daughter who's in this class of 2025, so it's an honor. On behalf of the faculty at the University of Maine, I'd like to open our convocation today by acknowledging the University of Maine's presence on Marsh Island, in the homeland of the Penobscot Nation, and the University of Maine at Machias location in the homeland of the Passamaquoddy tribe. Both of our universities recognize that in these homelands, issues of water and territorial rights and encroachment upon these sacred sites are ongoing. Penobscot and Passamaquoddy homelands are connected to the other Wabanaki tribal nations, the Maliseet and the Micmac, through kinship, alliance, and diplomacy. UMaine and its regional campus also recognizes that the Penobscot, Passamaquoddy, and the other Wabanaki tribal nations are distinct, sovereign, legal, and political entities with their own powers of self-governance and self-determination. As we gather here this afternoon at our convocation, I would like to invite us all to consider how we live and how we work on this land, and to attend carefully to our roles that each of us play as members of the University of Maine and the University of Maine at Machias in shaping future relationships with the land and among its people. I now welcome Provost John Vollen back to the podium.
Thank you, Dee. It is now my pleasure to introduce University of Maine System Chancellor Daniel Malloy. Chancellor Malloy joined the University of Maine System in 2019. Prior to his appointment in Maine, Daniel Malloy was a two-term governor of Connecticut who was honored as the 2016 John F. Kennedy Profile and Courage Award recipient, defending the U.S. resettlement of Syrian refugees. In his first year as chancellor, the University of Maine System became the first statewide educational enterprise to unify the institutional accreditations of its public universities. Today, the universities of Maine are evaluated together based on how well they share state resources in meeting standards of institutional quality and higher education effectiveness. Last October, the Harold L. Fond Foundation announced a $240 million challenge grant for the University of Maine System. The commitment to the system's strategic direction and its students is the largest gift in the foundation's history and the 9th largest gift ever to a U.S. institution of public higher education. Chancellor Malloy continues to lead the University of Maine System's response to COVID-19. The Together for Maine initiative has been one of the nation's most successful higher education student and public health campaigns. This semester, more than 99% of our student population has come into compliance with our safety practices, making it possible for us to be together in person for today's convocation. Please join me in welcoming Chancellor Daniel Malloy.
I am deeply honored to have been invited by your president to participate in this convocation. I want to welcome our class of 2025 to the University of Maine and the University of Maine at Machias. I ask that those of you who will participate in these proceedings or see them subsequently in some other format, take a deep breath and understand that you have made a wise decision in coming to our universities, but also a wise decision to accept an opportunity that has been presented to you by the people of Maine. They have invested in us, in the belief that we will return the human capital necessary to drive economic development in this state and elsewhere, that we will improve lives and the outcomes of those lives by providing educational opportunities that might not otherwise be afforded to some of our residents and students. I want to thank the collective bodies of people working at each of these universities. Their outstanding dedication to your success is what drives them. They have been doing this for years and doing quite a job of making sure that we rise to the occasion of greatness in our presence, yet undetected. We are very happy to be part of this family. and you should enjoy your time here, but invest your time here to make sure that when your day is done, we collectively can say that the world is a better place for the contributions you made, in part because of the education you received with us. Good luck.
Joan Ferrani-Mundy is the president of the University of Maine and the University of Maine-Machias, and is vice chancellor for research and innovation of the University of Maine system. She was named president in 2018 and vice chancellor in 2021. Dr. Ferrani-Mundy was formerly the assistant director of education and human resources at the National Science Foundation, where she subsequently served as chief operating officer. She has provided campus-based academic leadership as an associate dean and served as a professor of mathematics at 2 land-grant universities. Dr. Ferrani-Mundy is a national leader in STEM education, research, and policy. During her NSF tenure, she co-led the development of government-wide strategic plan for science, technology, and engineering education across 14 science agencies, and achieved improved coherence and impact the federal government's $3 billion STEM education investment. Dr. Ferrani-Mundy is chair-elect of the Dr. Ferrani-Mundy is the chair-elect of the Confidence Board of Mathematical Sciences and chair of the academic advisory team with Maine Focus. She serves on the board of the Maine Center Ventures and the Maine Company and the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development Executive Steering Committee. She is also the vice chair of APLU's Research Invest Committee, a board member of the Association of Public Land-Grant Universities, and co-PL of a $240 billion gift from the Harold Alfond Foundation. She earned her PhD in mathematics education from the University of New Hampshire College of Engineering and Physical Sciences. Please welcome President Ferrani-Mundy.
Welcome to the Fall 2021 Convocation at the University of Maine. This gathering is meant to be a welcome to the new students joining our communities and a greeting to all who have returned. This is especially fitting given all that we have faced over the past 20 months of the COVID-19 pandemic. The past few weeks since we came back to campus have indeed felt like a warm reunion and a celebration of being together. I began to work on these remarks by thinking I'd make 3 main points, and so here was my first attempt. 1, this semester marks the beginning of a new era for the University of Maine. 2, you, the class of 2025, and everyone here, will leave a special enduring impact on this university. And 3, you are defining tomorrow now. And then my plan, through long-standing professorial habit, was to explain more about what I meant by each point. Then it struck me that to make sense of these points, what we need is to hear from you, our students. So today I'm announcing the UMaine Students Define Tomorrow initiative. We, administrators, faculty, staff, alumni, we will hear from you on this, not the other way around. My cabinet invites you to bring your ideas about what you need to define your own tomorrow at the University of Maine and the University of Maine at Machias. The initiative will include a series of open, student-led ideas labs beginning in December. These are to elicit and discuss your ideas. What do you want for your time here at UMaine or at UMaine Machias? And how would you like your experience in higher education to take on new shapes? Should everyone have a research experience each year of their time here? We're already making a start on that through the remarkable Harold Alfond Foundation gift and the Research Learning Experience program. Do you want to have more living learning communities here on campus? Have you had a chance to do service learning in a nearby community? Want to have input on the directions of UMaine research on climate change? How about spending a semester at the coastal campus in Machias? Do you have ideas about how to bring more students to UMaine? To be a part of fundraising with donors? Have a guaranteed job when you graduate? You, of course, will think of so much more. This will be an idea generation exercise followed by prioritization and discussion about where we can focus and succeed. We need your best ideas, so start thinking. This will fit into the strategic vision and values process. One resource will be the final work of the President's Commission on Excellence and Equity at the University of Maine 2025. Last year, I charged this group to offer a bold vision for UMaine's future as a student-centric, research-focused, diverse and inclusive institution that serves as a resource for the community, a thought leader in the state and region, and a proactive force for shaping the evolving needs and demands of our society. To be sure to address the theme of this convocation, connecting our past with our present and future, I turned to the speeches made at another convocation, the celebration of UMaine's centennial in 1965. I was especially drawn to the remarks by John Hanna, who was the renowned president of Michigan State University, a university which also happens to be part of my past. President Hanna said, quote, "The one great resource that no state can afford to squander is the true potential of its young people. With that potential developed to its maximum, they are in a position to contribute to the upbuilding of the economy of the state, the services of its society, the quality of its government. You will develop your true potential here at UMaine and UMaine Machias. I ask that you help you to just do that." Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Professor Darren Ranko, Chair of Native American Programs and Coordinator of Native American Research here at the University of Maine. I'm a Penobscot Nation citizen, and it's really lovely to see our tribal flags showing here. It is my distinct honor to introduce today's keynote speaker, Tribal Representative Rena Newell. So just going off script, she is an extraordinary person, and we're really lucky to have her here today. She is one of those Wabanaki women who do so much for so many people, and I really want to just honor her for that. She's been super generous. I think she'll tell you how generous she is with her time with me. If not for the generosity of Wabanaki women, Wabanaki men would be very lost, and I think Dwayne would attest to that. Rena Newell is serving her first 4-year term as Passamaquoddy Tribal Representative to the Maine House of Representatives. She currently serves on the Judiciary Committee after previously serving on the Innovation, Development, Economic Advancement, and Business Committee. Representative Newell is the former Tribal Education Director for the Passamaquoddy Tribal Government. That's where I first came to know her and just how hard she fights for her people, both inside and outside education. She is very involved with efforts in the legislature to expand upon tribal state coordination as well as tribal sovereignty. And she's a continuing student at the University of Maine Machias. And really, just please help me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Representative Rena Newell.
Wooly Wood, thank you. Dr. Darren Ranko for the introduction. I say in a good way. We have certainly come further in getting to know one another during the last 10+ years of working together. And for that, I am grateful. However, I will reserve a day of memory that the day that I received a postcard event invitation from your office at the Wabanaki Center addressed to Rena ? Upshiwiliwan, Dr. Darren Ranko. Wooly Spazwell, it's a good day. Greetings to the University of Maine at Machias, and to distinguished elders, veterans, administration, students, faculty, family, and guests in attendance. I am honored by the invitation to serve as today's keynote speaker, so to offer words to this year's Convocation theme of connecting our past with our present and future from an Indigenous perspective. Chi Willie Wun, to Chancellor Maller, President Joan Farini Mundy, for sharing your remarks. Willie Wun, to William Nichols, for the land acknowledgement and greetings as well. I appreciate and I receive your words. Apch, de Lewis, Rena Newell. Again, my name is Rena Newell. Beskamukadig Nil, I am Passamaquoddy. Nujayao Nil, Zibayik, I am from Sabayik. Lepsenti Yagunil, I am the tribal representative to the Maine State Legislature. I welcome this opportunity to share my words, and please, I would encourage each of you to receive what you may and leave the rest. For it is with good intentions that I come to speak with you today. It is my hope to bring forth a message from an Indigenous perspective, to speak to the importance of representation and recognition of tribal voices within the areas of education, language, culture, and self-governance. As I begin, I would like to share a Passamaquoddy song. I had thought to sing it solo. However, I thought about that again. I would like to honor my late Aunt Blanche Soccerbasin, and to also recognize my cousin Wayne Newell, a Passamaquoddy tribal elder and a former University of Maine Board of Trustee member. I understand that for more than 40 years, my aunt and Wayne, the two of them, would often perform this song together. Both were known nationally and are known nationally for their contributions to preserving our language, culture, and songs. I further understand this song was sung before any business was conducted as a formal welcome and greeting ceremony. Today, I share with you the Passamaquoddy welcome song, to greet and welcome some of you to fall 2021. Your first semester of academic learning, and to others to greet and welcome you back as you continue learning, teaching, and administrating within this education institution. At this time, I would like to invite Dwayne Toma to the stage. It has been said that he is the youngest fluent Passamaquoddy speaker, one that holds many stories relating to our culture through language, songs, and history. And I am pleased that he has agreed to accompany me here today. The Passamaquoddy welcome song.
In our languages, the past. Together is the present. Nikanil is the future. My name is Dwayne Toma from the Passamaquoddy Nation. It's an honor for me to be here with you, and it's a distinct honor to share ancestral songs of our people. These are not just songs. These are teachings of our people. And this particular song that I'm about to share with you very archaic song that's been handed down for thousands of years. And this particular song is a welcome song. And a welcome song, and the reason why we do these songs for ceremonies is to show the utmost respect for one another and to share. So this is in honor of Blanche Soccer Basin, who was very instrumental in carrying on archaic ancestral songs. That particular song is about honoring each other. Those are ceremonies that have been handed down for thousands of years to honor each other. Chiwiliwin.
Chiwiliwin. As an Indigenous child, coming from a small family of 7, I was taught to sit quietly. If I was to be seen, I was not to be heard. Perhaps this should have come easier for me, as I've been told that my voice was delayed from my inability to speak words. I recall an early memory of playing on the floor of an office and later learned that my parents would often take me to appointments to work with a speech therapist. Thankfully, my ability to pronounce words came, although not always correctly. I have also been told that I have not yet stopped talking. However, only recently has my voice held itself to express and share words with confidence. I was recently encouraged by my youngest daughter, Liwizukai Neptune, to provide a quote to our 4th graders as to the importance of education as tribal citizens. As we celebrated our return to in-school learning at our new elementary school in Sabayak, I offered the following. As we continue to gain knowledge through education and life experiences, it is equally important to remember our culture and language, from which allows us to uniquely identify ourselves as Beskamukadig, Passamaquoddy tribal citizens, and where we come from, Zibayig, Nagademadokmiguk. The value of knowledge, education, and the preservation of language and cultural connectedness is of great significance, not only for oneself, but for the growth and sustainability of our tribal community and continued survival as well. Always remembering to be mindful to carry the essence of who we are and where we come from with pride, wherever we may travel in this life. Please allow me to introduce my daughter, Kai Neptune. I am proud to say that she is a graduate of the University of Maine at Machias, and she is here today with her colleagues from Wabanaki Public Health, who work within the Division of Education, Culture, and Language. I would like to introduce you, if they would please rise and be recognized, my daughter Kai Neptune, Cyril Francis, as well, University of Maine, graduate with her master's degree. Absent from today's invitation was Newell Louie, who's conducting a language class. And he's a recent graduate of MIT, as I understand, in language and linguistics. However, I would also introduce you to Brianna Smith, a team member of Wabanaki Public Health. Thank you for being here. As the former tribal education director, I work directly with post-secondary tribal students, other Wabanaki tribal education directors, and within the various levels throughout the University of Maine system. It allowed me to advocate on behalf of students when needed, yet always encouraging their voices to be heard and supporting their presence within the institutions of higher education. Professional success was received in witnessing students pursue their higher education goals and reaching their academic success. My sister Molly is in the audience today. I brought with me my community, pretty much. While they may be a few years of age between us, she was raised in the presence of our Ukmi, our grandmother Evelyn, who was a fluent Passamaquoddy speaker. Having learned to speak only in our Passamaquoddy language, my sister Molly had reached the age to begin her formal education and began attending our local elementary school. She would learn quickly that her voice was soon to be discouraged in speaking her native language of Passamaquoddy. However, despite the treatment she received that came with this discouragement, she continues to speak and recognizes Passamaquoddy as her first language. I am extremely proud to say that she is a graduate of this institution. Having completed her master's degree, she previously served as the Sabayag Human Services Director, where she participated in the Maine Wabanaki State Child Welfare Truth and Reconciliation Commission, a commission that was formed to lead a truth-seeking process to uncover the truth about child welfare practices relating to Native children within the state of Maine. She now currently serves as the vice principal of our sister reservation at Indian Township School. She holds a strong voice of advocacy on behalf of our children. She is respected for her candidness and I often tell her she has a heart of gold. Please rise, my sister, and be recognized. I want you to also know my cousin Adele is in the audience as well. I think you saw a glimpse of her, but she didn't want to be formally introduced. I will now shift to reflect upon my work as the Passamaquoddy tribal representative. I feel it is my duty within my role to strengthen the government-to-government relationship between the tribe and the state, yet in doing so, to be mindful in furthering the progress of the tribe's right to self-determination and self-governance. While one can seemingly expect through tribal-state relations that issues of mutual interest would be addressed from a government-to-government basis, I think it is safe to say through a historic lens that the perceived limitations set upon the tribes from the state through rules, regulations, and its Blue Book laws, since repealed prior to the 1980 Land Claim Settlement Act, and through additional laws set forth in the Maine Implementing Act, would suggest a lack of reciprocity in trust and, more importantly, dialogue. When I sought the position to serve as the tribal representative to the Maine State Legislature, it's fair to say it was during a time of continuing contention and limited representation. I knew that I would be the only Indigenous person visibly seated, despite the designated seat and glimpses reflective of the past. I knew that I would not sit quietly, and I continue to welcome the opportunity to increase the visibility of the Passamaquoddy tribal citizens that I proudly represent, not only with my physical presence, but with my voice as well. My work in the legislature is with good intention to strengthen representation and bring a voice to the issues that affect us. Therefore, I am pleased to mention the following legislation that I had previously sponsored and has now become written in statute. LD 453, an act to establish a permanent Wabanaki appointment of a member to the Wabanaki tribe to the Board of Trustees of the Wabanaki tribe to the Board of Trustees of the University of Maine system. LD 361, an act to establish a permanent Wabanaki appointment to the Maine Inland Fisheries and Wildlife Advisory Council. LD 1073, an act to establish a permanent appointment of the Wabanaki tribes to the Marine Resources Advisory Council. Although the Passamaquoddy tribal citizens are guaranteed to exercise their protected rights to enjoy life, liberty, and happiness as other Maine citizens under the state constitution, as a result of the limitations set upon the tribes under the Maine Implementing Act to exercise our sovereign rights to access and provide clean water to the Passamaquoddy tribal citizens of Sabayak from the lands we own, have threatened our right to living healthy within our environment. I have submitted proposed legislation that I hope to be addressed in the upcoming 130th second regular session beginning in January 2022, excuse me. In closing, today is a great example of reconciliation. May we continue towards allowing the spaces for each other to continue to improve upon our relations. For the time is now to change the narrative, for the future generations deserve this. We must come to accept the richness and diversity of all who share this land by working together. I believe collectively we can make the difference. G. Willie One for allowing me to share with you today. Nitem Sil, that is all.
Thank you very much, Representative Newell. Your words were inspiring and heartfelt, and we appreciate deeply you being here today and for bringing so many of your friends and family. Thank you for your leadership in Augusta. Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to see you all here today. I'm Robert Dana. I'm the Vice President for Student Life and Inclusive Excellence and Dean of Students. And it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Elizabeth Davis, Vice President of the University of Maine Student Government and President of the General Student Senate. Elizabeth is a senior from Portland, Maine, who is pursuing a political science degree with minors in legal studies and criminal justice. She plans to attend law school. Please give a warm welcome to Elizabeth Davis.
Hardy Maine, hello, class of 2025. It's difficult to believe that 3 years have passed since I was in your position. I wish I could come up here and give you an inspiring story about how involved on campus I was in my first year, how I met all of my closest friends, how many fun events I went to, and how great of an impact I had on the UMaine community. But unfortunately, I don't have a story like that. During my first year, I was hardly involved with anything. The relationship I was in at the time took precedence over me forming new friendships. My roommate, who was one of my only close friends, dropped out, and most of my professors barely knew who I was. It took the pandemic to make me realize something that I wish I had realized when I was in your shoes. That any experience, including college, is what you make of it. When COVID-19 sent us home in spring of 2020, I felt more isolated than ever, and I had decisions to make. Did I want to continue feeling isolated and unhappy, or did I want to make a change and find my purpose on this campus? Did I want to blow through my 4 years here, or did I want to make a lasting impact? These are some of the things that I wish I had done sooner. 1, form strong relationships with your professors. Attend office hours and participate in class. Your professors want to help you and will be a valuable resource in connecting you with opportunities and helping you prepare for your life beyond UMaine. Besides that, you're paying for your classes, so you might as well get something out of them. Force yourself to get involved on campus. It might not seem like it at first, but getting involved will help you form some of your closest relationships, make you feel like you belong here, and provide you with opportunities to make a difference. And last, your proudest moments of your time here at UMaine will be the times where you put yourself out there and make decisions not only for the well-being of yourself, but for the well-being of the community. After all, it's difficult to find your purpose when you're sitting in your dorm room. As cliche as it sounds, you need to be the change you want to see, and it's up to you to create the campus environment that you want to live in. Before ending, I'd like to share this brief poem by Edgar Guest. Is anybody happier because you passed his way? Does anyone remember that you spoke to him today? This day is almost over, and its toiling time is through. Is there anyone to utter now a kindly word of you? Thank you.
Greetings from UMaine's Research Office and the Graduate School. I'm Vice President for Research and Graduate School Dean Cody Aramian. It is my privilege today to introduce Janina Diesenrieder, President of Graduate Student Government. Janina is a second-year global policy student at the School of Policy and International Affairs. She graduated in May with a master's degree in communication from UMaine. She's a communications and policy intern for ARP Policy, Research, and International. Please join me in welcoming Janina Diesenrieder.
Thank you for the introduction, Vice President for Research and Dean of the Graduate School, Varavaramyan. And hello, everyone. My name is Janina Deisenrieder, and today I'm here as the President of the Graduate Student Government to send you our warmest welcome on behalf of UMaine's graduate students. I arrived in Orono in 2019 after 12 hours of traveling halfway across the world, and I was full of energy and motivation to start my master's program in communication. Now, 2 years later, and after receiving incredible opportunities thanks to the University of Maine, I am still here studying my second master's program in global policy. I would have never assumed that after just 1.5 semesters, the global pandemic would fundamentally change the way we receive education. But UMaine stood unwavering in its commitment to foster student success, discover and produce new knowledge, and advance the cultural, economic, and civic interests of communities around Maine. As we slowly readjust and pivot towards a new normal, I am more than confident that UMaine will realize its 3 main goals: to support and grow Maine's economy through new discoveries and by building a workforce whose members are engaged in their communities and prepared for lifelong success; to continue to provide accessible and affordable education, research, and services through processes that ensure effectiveness, efficiency, and quality; and to be a rewarding place to live, learn, and work by sustaining an environment that is diverse, inclusive, and fosters the personal development of all of its stakeholders. I am honored to not only be a part of this journey, but also to have the trust of the graduate students and the graduate student body to represent them. I look forward to the academic year and all that we will accomplish together. Together we can define tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Janina. So wonderful to have heard you. I do want to give a shout out to the students who have worked with us today. Ryan did a beautiful job singing. Janina, thank you so much. Ori and Elizabeth, and we should thank them especially. I'd like to also thank Chancellor Malloy and President Farini Mundy, Representative Newell, but all my friends and colleagues here on the stage. They were committed to this experience for our students, and there's nothing really more important than saying to our students, you matter, we care for you, you're loved, this is your university, and this is your community. And in that vein, I'd like to thank the committee that put this together, and it's quite resplendent and a wonderful experience. And for all of you here and for all of you out in the cyberspace, we're so thrilled. But thank you, first of all, to James Salidas and Brian Olson, our co-chairs, Will Bieberstein, Jessica Chubbuck, Robin Delcourt, Scott Delcourt, Mary Mahoney O'Neill, Margaret Nagel, Dan Qualls, Lori Sedelko, and John Volin, and thank you so much to Sam Hallett, Scott Stitham, to all of the residence life staff, and all of the RAs. It takes quite a village to have such a wonderful opportunity. Well, we're at the closing moment, and there's nothing more important than taking stock of where we are in life. And for our new students, and for our continuing students, you're at a time in your life that could never be more important. You're dwellers on the threshold today, but tomorrow you'll be the change agents, the leaders, the doers, the actors, the people like me are following. You'll care for me, you'll care for my children, you'll care for the earth, you'll care for the society, you'll make us better. So I hope you'll take an opportunity to reflect on the importance of your college experience. I hope that you will grow and prosper in this community, here and in Machias, loving communities and caring communities. And the degree to which each of us can contribute to that, commit to it, the stronger we'll be. So thank you so very much. Thank you particularly to President Farini Mundy for conspiring with this entire group to make this happen. So thank you very much. And now, I think I'm supposed to do this, and the Stein song's supposed to start, but I'm not sure. Danny?
Maestro, take it away. Fill the steins to dear old Maine, shout till the rafters ring. Stand and drink a toast once again, let every loyal Maine fan sing. Drink to all the happy hours, drink to the careless days. Drink to Maine, our alma mater, the college of our hearts always. To the trees, to the sky, to the spring and its glorious happiness, to the youth, to the fire, to the life that is moving and calling us, to the gods, to the fates, to the rulers of men and their destinies, to the lips, to the eyes, to the ones who will love us someday. Fill the steins to dear old Maine, shout till the rafters ring. Stand and drink a toast once again, let every loyal Maine fan sing. Drink to all the happy hours, drink to the careless days. Drink to Maine, our alma mater, the college of our hearts always. Dwayne, next time, I'll ask you to help me accompany us. All right.